Welcome to A Taste of AZ podcast. On today's episode, we head up to Flagstaff to chat with some of the breweries to hear what they've got going on for Arizona Beer Week. This episode is sponsored by Discover Flagstaff, so make sure to visit the Flagstaff Visitors Bureau for all the information on what you should be doing, drinking, and eating when you visit Flagstaff. And remember, Arizona Beer Week runs from February 15th to the 25th, and Flagstaff is one of the best places that you can enjoy the Arizona craft beer scene. So head up there and enjoy what this wonderful state has to offer. Now let's get into the episode.
All right, well, we are here in the, what is this room called?
This is the Roy's 66 Lounge.
Roy's 66
Lounge, yeah,
66
named
Lounge.
after Roy's Motel and Cafe. Like we've got Terrence Moore, photographer. He did a lot of work for the Rolling Stone in the 80s.
Oh, nice.
Did a lot of photography along Route 66. So we had Terry come up and kind of outfit this room with different prints of Route 66. And since we're sitting almost, Phoenix Avenue is not quite Route 66, but Mike's Pike right here was the original 1926 alignment of Route 66. So in this building, the Milan building was a commercial laundry factory.
Yeah.
That serviced a lot of the hospital up there. The scale that's right behind us as well used away the laundry, and one of our crew members, Cedar's, even got some ghost stories for some gnarly things.
The legendary Cedar, right?
Yes.
He would be the one to have those stories too, right? Well, that's awesome. Well, Dylan from Mother Road, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
And I have Kelly from Lumberyard/Beaver Street.
Yeah.
Right? Thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We are here to, first of all, shout out to Discover Flagstaff. The team over there, Sabrina and Lori and Meg and Isabel, how many names? All
Trace.
of them. Ralph.
Yeah.
All just so many people that, and I dropped off magazines for the first time because we usually have. There's a couple people up here that'll deliver magazines for us over the last couple of years, but I actually delivered magazines this time, and I stopped into their office, and it was a house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just a
pretty
house.
Cool. It's very historic to Flagstaff.
Yeah. I loved it. Like, I'm like, this is great. Like, I don't know why, but after I turned 40, I'm like an extreme fall risk. Like, no matter where I'm at, I'm gonna probably fall somehow. Like, I'm not a clumsy person, but like, so I was like, skirting across the street over to and I'm like, where is this building? And then I'm like, oh, it's the house. And I walked in, and there was the staircase, and it's a beautiful place. So
I love their little conference room in there.
I didn't get to see the conference room. Yeah, it's like the dining room.
It's like right past the intro office. The secretary's working right there. It's right in there. It's where we usually congregate, had our last meeting about Craft Beer Week.
Nice. Well, so you guys, shout out to Discover Flagstaff. This is the second year they've brought us on to come around and just kind of show some love to the breweries and the beer community up here, and create some fun content to share for Beer Week, which is 25th through the 15th
through the 25th
of February. Of February. Yeah. So it's coming. I mean, it's basically here now at this point, right? So Discover Flagstaff, thank you for just doing all the great things that you guys do. And obviously you guys have a close connection. You were just in the conference room at the offices. So so you guys work closely with Discover Flagstaff on a lot of things?
We do, yeah. Discover Flagstaff, they keep the fire lit underneath us for all these great events and get us thinking about them early, which is great. I really appreciate that. But then they come through and help us promote all of our events for Beer Week and throughout the year, whatever we've got going on.
Yeah.
So it's really a great partnership. It's great to have them on our side and help support all of our local businesses in Flag.
Yeah.
They help take the brunt off Kelly and I, or Liz this year, of kind of getting all the breweries in the same room together.
Oh,
It's
for
like gives
sure.
us a reason to say, hey, no, it's just not Kelly or I saying, get over here like this meeting. It's Discover Flags on it. It's like we're all working together, and they pull us all in the same room. So shout out to them for helping us do that, because it's not the easiest task.
It's not.
No.
It's not. Sabrina, thank you for helping put all this together.
Yes, thank you.
You guys were great. You guys immediately responded. Was like, yep, I'm in. And some other people they've got a lot, it wasn't as quick to respond. So Sabrina was helpful in gathering everybody. So thank you.
Use the cattle prod sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the draw of beer, right? Like, we're not having beer just yet. It's still a little early, but maybe the noon crew will probably have a beer. Yeah. So Beer Week is coming up. So Kelly, you've lived here your whole life, right? Flagstaff?
Yeah, I grew up here.
Okay.
Moved back after college. Been back since.
Where'd you go to college?
Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Little town close to the beach instead of the mountain.
Nice.
But
you like the mountains better, I take it?
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't like the beach?
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I do like Flagstaff a little bit more than Slow was. So.
All right, good. That's good to know. That's good to So, so I mean, I would assume for as long as you can remember, your family was involved with the beer industry up here, right?
So 30 years is this year.
crazy.
30th anniversary. So actually
Beaver Street?
at Beaver Street,
Okay.
yeah. And
Nice.
that's coming up on March 4th.
Okay.
So on that too, we're doing a big celebration event for that. It's going to be at the Orpheum a little bit after Beer Week on March 1st. But we're going to do a beers and cheers to 30 years.
I like
so
that.
it's going to be, co-hosted by Lumberyard and Beaver Street. We're going to promote American Rivers, which is one of our big charitable partners through our Hazy Angel IPA.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So we're going to do this event through them, kind of celebrating 30 years of craft beer in Flagstaff, Arizona. Since Beaver Street was the first brewery to open, Flag Brew wasn't too long after. But, so 30 years that craft beer has been in Flagstaff, and I think it's something to definitely celebrate.
Yeah. Would you remember, like, growing up, like just beer kind of always being a theme?
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up in the restaurant, so I had my 7th birthday in Beaver Street the week before we opened.
That's so cool.
I'm sure my parents were all stressed out about opening this restaurant in like a week, not even a week. And there's my 7th birthday, and so they're like, oh, we'll just host it here and make some wood-fired pizzas. And
that's a kid's dream,
right?
It was great.
Yeah. Hey, can we close down the restaurant and have my party here? Can we do that?
It's even before we opened. It was a little pre-birthday party.
They could have really said, like, hey, Kelly, we built this restaurant for you. Happy birthday.
I mean, I am here and working it now, so.
That was the gift. It is coming. Yeah, full circle. I love it.
Soft opening is his 7th birthday party.
Yes, exactly.
So, wow, that's cool. So I mean, that has a special attachment with the 30 years now coming up. And, wow, that's really, really cool. Yeah. Dylan, you are newish to the town.
Yes,
4 years now, right?
4 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of talk about how long your tenure is in Flagstaff to become a local.
Okay.
So 4 years now. Yeah. Like I said
think it
earlier,
counts.
Kelly would be the one to
owners,
say,
too.
yeah.
We own a house now, which is always a challenge in
You're a
Flagstaff
property owner.
these
Yep.
days. So that's nice. But we're loving the same thing too. Mountains are a big draw. I mean, living within the national forest is pretty amazing, and the access to the outdoors, the communal feel. I've got a lot of buddies who we came and met in Flagstaff, and they were like, I've been here for a little bit, we're gonna go check something else out, and they come back and they move back, and it's like I miss that sense of community, and we knew it'd still feel that since 4 years ago when we came through here, 5 years ago when we discovered it. We were like, wow, we could hang out here. We don't know a soul. We're 1,800 miles away from home, but it's got that feel that just draws you in, and everybody makes you feel so welcome here. And I think that's what I get excited about, the whole craft beer community and all the local breweries here. I mean, everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
I thought I moved from my hometown of Chattanooga, Tennessee to get away from that. And 4 years later, I can't walk down the street without running into somebody.
You're not escaping that, Dylan. Yeah. You're too not likable of a guy to just fall into the shadows, man. But I know that feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, that's what I did. I moved from a small town in Ohio of like 5,000 people into Phoenix, and I love the fact that I can go to the grocery store, and most likely I don't know anybody.
Right.
I'm a social person, but I'm also like a recluse a little bit too.
Right.
you know, I pick and choose when I want to. So I can see that up here. Like, this is just it's a small community anyways, but then when you get to the craft, hospitality, and then you whittle down to craft beer, it's all great people. Like, everybody I've met has been just love what they do, and there seems to be really, really good like work-life balance type of. Everybody always has something else that they do. It's like, I do this, and you were telling me earlier you work with the Park Service or something, right?
Well, I sit on the board for the Northern Arizona Climbers Coalition.
Yeah.
So we moved here for the climbing, and I've worked with the Southeastern Climbers Coalition back in Tennessee, but just loved outdoors and so much. And these days, you go around. I was just in Spain. We were rock climbing, and it just amazes me how much people trash places that are so awesome. And I think that's what drove me to, start volunteering for them. I saw there's a board position open, so I applied. And it's like, look, I can, as much time and as much that I've, gotten from being outside climbing, like if I'm able to pay that forward a little bit from what I've gone, that's, I don't know, something that drives me and makes the, it brings the community together. It's like I said, it's the same thing with beer as it is with climbing. It's like you're never far removed from anybody, and everybody's, Flagstaff is a very well kept secret as far as climbing goes so far, because everywhere else in the country that's well known, it's crazy.
It gets kind of crazy.
I do think there's all these little communities around Flagstaff, so I'm a big part of the running community.
Okay, yeah.
So same thing, but you have all these other little communities: the climbers, the mountain bikers, the runners, the hikers. But one of the big things that kind of brings everyone together and all those groups together is the craft beer scene in Flagstaff.
100%.
Because like the climbers like to go out and enjoy a beer after they're done climbing. Trail runners like to go and have a beer after they're done running. It's something that kind of brings all those different groups kind of touched together.
Yeah.
And even though you have all these different separate communities, and the craft beer community really just kind of solidifies everything here in Flagstaff.
Yeah. I mean, tourists come into town, and what do? They go down to Sedona. They go up to the Snow Bowl. They go out hiking on Mount Eldon. And what does everybody want to do after a well-deserved, day of busting your butt, getting after it? It's like, hey, let's go grab a beer somewhere.
For sure. And they do taste better.
And the one great thing about the work-life balance in Flag is that, it's not an hour's drive to get somewhere to get to one of these trails. You have a trail, you can honestly run from any of the breweries in Flagstaff and get away from people on this trail and have it all to yourself. Probably run into someone you do know in the middle
someone
of
else
nowhere.
running to
it
get
happens.
away.
But it's so great that 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long until you're out in the nature. You're surrounded by all this natural forest. It's all these great people that are out there and help support this community.
Yeah. There's a lot of awesome beer run clubs. The Peak Trail Runners, I know they like to bop around. They'll visit each brewery a different month.
The Brew Pub Run Club.
Brew Pub Run Club, yeah.
Okay.
It's another one that starts from different breweries or bars around Flag.
Brew Pub Run Club?
Yeah.
I like the name of that. That sounds.
Who doesn't want to run for beer? Why else do I run? Only so I can justify drinking more beer.
That's a good point, because I don't want to run at all. But
that's what everyone says.
Well, that actually brings up a good point, too, because there's... I've been to, obviously, Phoenix is so big, and there's little pockets that have, like Downtown Mesa is doing a really great job. They've got, Beer Research Institute, Oro, 12 West, now the Phantom Fox. So they've got, but I've never been to a place that the brewery vibes all kind of have a synergy with each other, right? It all has the feel of Flagstaff to it, right? Like, even though the style of Mother Road versus Dark Sky, like the visual style is different, the vibe is the same. Dark Sky is paying homage to Flagstaff. Mother Road is, Lumberyard is paying homage to the lumber industry. So it's all... I think it's really cool. And I kind of just thought of that when you guys were telling me that. I'm like, it's a boom. I don't know if you saw the light bulb go off. I'm like, wow, the way you guys were explaining it is it's more than just a tight-knit community. It's like it's one. It's one unit. Yeah.
It's great. It works out geographically too, that you can pretty much, start from here and throw a rock to the next brewery. And it's so easy that anytime somebody comes in, it's like, all right, we have a beer here, point us in the direction of the next brewery. It's like Beaver Street's a half a block that way. Lumberyard's right there. Historic's just down the road. Dark Sky's right over the tracks. Flag Brew is on Route 66.
Yeah.
You might have to drive a whole 3 minutes to Grand Canyon or Wanderlust.
That's a little stretch.
Who wants to do that?
That's why you start at those, then come downtown.
For sure. Yep. Well, so all right. So speaking of the community and the teamwork aspect of it, every year you guys the breweries get together and do a collaboration beer, right? Which is easy, getting everybody gathered, right? And getting on the same page. So so you said Liz Lindbergh from Grand Canyon?
Yep, she kind of spearheaded it this year.
Nice.
She had a nice new fresh energy for Flagstaff
Thank you,
breweries.
Liz.
Yes, we
she'll
appreciate
be on later.
it.
Yep.
So she kind of spearheaded getting everyone together and brainstorming a bunch of different ideas for us to do a little different take on it this year than we've done in the past, which is really nice.
Nice. Yeah, she brings that energy.
She does.
For sure.
Yes.
And we just discussed how all of us have kind of grown and have our own distributors. And typically the tough part about collaborations is that whoever is hosting that collaboration typically has control of the distribution, the profit and all that. And so we kind of came up with the idea that we were just all going to do our own version of the same style.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
We chose a Maibach this year.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. You guys do always choose something very, you guys aren't doing hazy IPAs, and you're not doing fruited sours, which I love.
Right.
But like, I love that you guys do something it's always kind of wintry, I guess.
And yeah, bocks are always like a winter cozy beer almost.
Yeah.
You know, which is great for February up here in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how will you guys? So there won't be a one day that everybody gets together and makes this beer, or the planning or the drinking before.
We're going to do a big kickoff party for it.
Okay. All right, nice.
But yeah, each brewery is going to brew their own take on a Maibach. You know, we have like a very basic grain build that they send out. But yeah, every brewery can kind of do what they want with it and make something unique. And that's kind of something cool to go with for the brewery trail too, especially the week of Beer Week, is then to go try all these different Maibachs at all the different breweries and see kind of what they came up with and like their specific take on it.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's kind of a new fun way to approach a collaboration where it's you know, each brewery can have their own personality with the beer.
Yeah.
And then, but still have this collaborative piece and this like thread that goes through all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, kind of encouraging to go like kind of a special edition of the brewery trail to go around and check out and stop at each place.
Yeah.
To check out each place's Maibachs, and it kind of helps to that cross promotion amongst all of us and everybody to go hit all the spots that, you know, not only is it fun to go bop around to each brewery, but like see which style you prefer best, which place is fun to have that Maibach. And like Kelly mentioned, we're having a big kickoff, a big pub crawl Thursday the 15th, where all of us are going to be, you know, wreaking havoc on the town.
You mean like the brewery, like the people within the brewery, like
you know, the breweries will all come out and celebrate Beer Week, have this big kickoff with our collaboration piece.
And everybody's,
you know, there was talks
drinking.
of maybe a snowball fight. We're not sure if that's really going to happen or not yet. It depends on the snow. But yeah, just kind of something different. Brings us all together to celebrate the beer in Flagstaff and, you know, promote our local partners too, not just the breweries. We have great local beer bars as well. So it's nice to support them.
Help bring in, because they all have us all on tap, you know, and all of us, not only are we wreaking havoc, but really like promoting them as well, to show them that, like, you know, Hops on Birch and Mountaintop Tap Room, Pay Intake, Yucca, Cornish Pasty. Not leaving anybody out.
Oh, it's
probably.
I know we probably are. Unfortunately, if we left you out, we're sorry.
But you know, the main hangs. You know, if we're out drinking beer, if we're not at our own pubs or somebody else's pubs, you know, it's those other beer bars that are so amazing that we go and hang out, and we appreciate them so much, being some of our, you know, biggest supporters and ambassadors for some of the tourists coming through town. It's like, if they're not going to the pubs themselves, they can go over to those beer bars, and they're at, like, pushing us as the local beers, saying, hey, you know, their tap room's just right down the road if you want to go over and check them out.
I like that.
I
like that. And I like how you still highlighted very subtly, like, we are still wreaking havoc, but you know. But not only that, we're also doing this. Okay, so expect havoc to be wreaked. How would you say that? Expect havoc to be.
I don't know.
Wrecked.
I guess it depends
on. So you got the collaboration beer, and I really like that approach too, because through Discover Flagstaff, you can go to the what is the building? The visitor center. Visitor center, and you can get, well, it's a web based. The trail is web based, right?
Yeah, you can do a digital on Loyal Brew. You just scan a QR code, go to their website, and sign up for it.
Where do you get the QR?
We have them placed throughout the breweries. Kelly came up with a little flyer, and actually I'm trying to get our merchandise specialist Hannah does great work with some of our wooden signs at the tap room, and we're trying to get her before Beer Week to have a little wooden sign with a painted QR code on there. So most of the I actually saw it at the flyer at Dark Sky the other day too. That most of the tap rooms and at the Visitors Brew, you can scan a QR code. It'll prompt you to go to the Loyal Brew website and sign into it. And what it'll do is each place that each tap room that you visit, it'll track your phone like a GPS coordinate that you're in there, and you get a stamp.
Stalk you. Geocache you.
You can delete it afterwards. But that way you don't have to. It's not because you're going to 8 different tap rooms, you're not forced to have a beer at 8 different tap
Sure.
rooms, so
Yeah.
you can remember your experience a little bit.
That's an interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, okay, have a 16-ounce beer at all 8 of these places today, and then come and we'll give you a pint glass. Like,
yeah.
that doesn't seem safe. Sounds fun.
We
but
typically advise to break it up over a couple days.
Sure,
Not doing it one day.
Don't
but,
take my advice. Take their advice.
Yeah.
That'd be a challenge all on its own.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I love that. First of all, they have that guided experience, right? That you could go through, but with Beer Week, the added depth of the Maibach tasting. I think I like that. Because I mean, you can go, it gives you an opportunity to kind of jump around to some places, taste, what, like you said, different versions, iterations of that beer is, but still hit up all the spots.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the other big thing is the ABV dinner.
That's the other big, collaborative events that all the breweries do, in restaurants in Flagstaff too.
Yep.
So it's kind of the big peak of the events, the end of Beer Week. I always feel like it is, and
The coup de grace.
coup de grace, this huge 8-course meal and 8 beers. Speaking of your 8 beers, where you get to highlight really all of Flag. So all these great restaurants, these great breweries, and the Flagstaff community really comes out for that one and just really supports it. It's up at the Elks Lodge again this year, if I'm right.
Yep.
So
At the Elks Lodge, and it's I believe it's $80 a ticket, something in that range.
Something
and
right
there's about
around
250 max. They're still selling right now.
Okay.
And we got Pizza Clada comes out, Shift, Tourist Home. I think Canyon Diablo Spirits came out last year too. Who else am I missing?
I know Simply Delicious we were paired with last
Yeah.
year. I'm not sure who's doing it this year. I haven't quite heard
It's
that.
typically a similar group year to year. Last year was the first year we'd had it since before COVID.
Yeah.
So this is just
gotcha.
second year since COVID again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely fun. It's another great time to bring the community together and to have all of the restaurants and the breweries together. It's quite a hoot seeing everybody in there. They're everybody that's serving beers and serving the food. They're all cutting up. Last year we see if we're doing Tower Station can stacks. Who could stack the highest? I don't know how this just came to be.
Who won?
It was like, I think Red, one of the guys that works that helps put it on.
Oh,
he
really?
was like getting after it.
That's awesome. Well, I convinced Michael yesterday. I'm like, get us some media passes. We'll do some media. I mean, I will. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes. We'll do some media coverage of it. But I'm also going to enjoy myself. So, all right. So before we wrap this up, individually, what do you guys have going on? We'll start with you, Kelly. What is going on with? Well, you got the anniversary coming up for Beaver Street, but what's the Beer Week plan for you guys?
Beer Week plan, So we're kicking it off. So our corporate chef is out of town during all Beer Weeks. So we have we're spreading it out a little bit. So February 13th, it's a Tuesday, we're doing our beer and whiskey night. So we host a 6-course beer and whiskeys paired with a really nice little small plate. It's on Mardi Gras this year.
Okay.
So we're
nice.
doing kind of a Mardi Gras theme. So we're gonna have some fish and grits, some jambalaya, a Cajun surf and turf on our menu. And we just, we're pairing some whiskeys and beers yesterday. And then we've got some good, fun, different whiskeys out there that, you don't see very often. So it's kind of fun. That one's $50 tickets, and those are on sale at Lumberyard's website right now.
That's a really good deal.
It is, yeah. It's something, we like to, support Flagstaff, and we don't want to make it too crazy expensive. We got ABV dinner, not too long after. So we want people to be able to experience both if they want to. And then we are hosting our Ladies Beer Club in Beer Week as well. It'll be the following Tuesday, where we're doing beer and chocolate, which is one of our more popular ladies beer clubs.
Okay.
So we make 3 different chocolates, house-made chocolates, and pair them with our beers, which is actually more difficult than you think to do, because chocolate and beer does not pair necessarily very well together. You have to get a little creative.
Okay.
But that's something, with our ladies in Flagstaff that have been coming to this event for many years. It's something that they really enjoy as well. And then, to cap it off, we're doing that March 1st event at the Orpheum to celebrate, beer. And then, our American Rivers, our partnership with them. And a little bit of Flagstaff Mountain Film Festival is going to be out there showing some films to help promote their event coming up at the end of March. So it's going to be kind of this all Flagstaff kind of celebration of beer. And yes, the start of Beaver Street 30 years ago.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. Nice. See, it's I mean, many reasons I'd like to live in Flagstaff, but that is one of them.
Just get that second home. It's okay.
Yeah, sure. And Dylan, what's Mother Road up to for Beer Week?
Oh man, so we have the same thing. We've got a couple things lined up going into Beer Week. We do a Fat Tuesday celebration, a crawfish boil ourselves. Jamie Thousand, the Satchos Barbecue crew, who run our kitchen, the roadside stove, come over. We do a big crawfish boil for Fat Tuesday. Then on Valentine's Day, we pair with Shift to do we call it the non-commitments, no committal Valentine's Day dinner. So you can sign up through their restaurant, and they do a beer and food pairing over at Shift on Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
Which is so much fun. We got the pub crawl Thursday night. Saturday we'll be down at the Strong Beer Festival.
Oh yeah.
And so we're actually going to have the first time we're going to have like a merchandise presence down at Strong Beer as well. So Han, our merchandise specialist, is going to go down there and kind of set up a double tent down there and help push some festival merchandise going into the year. We'll be releasing a collaboration that we did with Whiskey Del Bach down in Tucson.
Ooh, nice.
It's going to be a barrel-aged porter that we're all extremely excited about.
Yeah.
We'll be releasing that, and then Whiskey Del Bach is going to take those barrels that we use, and they're going to go then distill into those barrels as well after we've removed the porter from those barrels.
So boom,
double cast, kind of back and forth.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Super excited. We haven't nailed down the exact dates. We're going to do a food and beer pairing as well. We're working on our menu a little bit right now to where we're going to kind of pare down the large menu that we have, considering we're serving out of a 20-foot food truck.
Sure. Yeah.
In the hopes of setting things and having, we're, during a beer brat pairing or fried chicken pairing dinner. And then we'll also be doing a little come help our head brewer brew day. Greg can be in here and setting up and have guests come in, and he typically tries to brew on Thursday, Friday mornings to where it's a little bit of lunch service, but we're going to try to make that kind of more afternoonish and allow those who are having to work a full day to come to be a part of that brew and get to experience that. Just brew a beer with our head brewer.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And then culminating with the ABV dinner on that Saturday, which is it's really such a fun event to go to. If anybody in Flagstaff has the opportunity and the availability to go do that, it's such an amazing time helping to promote veterans and just getting to mingle and meet with all the brewers and all the restaurants and the beer pairing. You start with the little courses and stuff, but after those little courses, it just like breaks out whatever beer and whatever food you want to eat.
That's my kind of party. For sure. Yeah.
We'll be formal for a little bit, and then we'll throw the formalities out the window.
For sure. Yeah. Lock the doors and No, I love it. Well, guys, get your rest now because you guys can be busy for a few weeks for Beer Week, but that's no different than you guys are used to this stuff by now, right? I mean,
I think so. I think last year, all of Flagstaff, we all plan on being busy these holiday weekends, and then I think we've seen that last year just how awesome Flagstaff is and how many people it's drawing in. That it's just like, God, we were crazy. How are you guys? We planned on being this busy, but it's like we had lines down the street trying to come in. It's it's a great problem.
Snow
to have.
brings people around
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, guys, thanks for joining. I know you're both busy, so thanks for taking the time. Thank you to Discover Flagstaff once again for presenting all of this.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And Mother Road, thanks for hosting the location, as you can see the beautifulness behind us. So. And in front of us, and all of us, we're all beautiful. Okay, all right.
Especially you.
I was fishing for a compliment, so thank you. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
A real quick shout out to our friends at Discover Flagstaff for sponsoring this episode. Next time you head to Flagstaff, swing by the Flagstaff Visitors Bureau so you can find all the best places to enjoy what's going on in Flagstaff. Now let's get back to the episode.
So we are here. Big shout out to Mother Road for hosting our podcast. I don't know. I was trying to overthink that a little bit too much. I was like, So
vlog.
You can see the wheels turning.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the bottle of moonshine that's sitting in front of me that's got me a little bit scared at noon on a Wednesday.
You never show up to a party empty-handed. Okay.
Liz never shows up to a party.
Mother Road always shows me the utmost hospitality, and it's only fair for me to share as well. So yeah, we busted out some moonshine.
That's exciting.
Yes.
The distillery decided to make that a year-round product. So yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Let's get some moonshine.
Nice. All right, well, let's ease into that a little bit. But no, this is the second part of the podcast. Earlier we had Dylan from Mother Road and Kelly from Lumberyard / Beaver Street. And I didn't realize Beaver Street is celebrating their 30th anniversary.
Right?
Yeah.
They've been
that's
around
crazy.
for a minute.
Yeah. You guys are about the same for Flagstaff Brewing,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to celebrate our 30th this summer.
Oh, 30th for you too.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long. It just seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
My liver probably wouldn't say that.
Your liver is very thankful at times, right? But no, huge shout out once again to Discover Flagstaff for setting this all up, for bringing us on to highlight what's going on in Flagstaff with specifically Beer Week is what we're focused on, for this particular episode, but just really everything that's going on in Flagstaff beer. So thank you to Discover Flagstaff. Sabrina, thank you over there. Yeah. Our guests today, we've got, let's start with this gentleman. Where are you from and who are you?
Yeah, my name is Taylor. I'm a brewer with Dark Sky here in town. So,
excellent. And you?
Me.
You.
I am Liz. I work for Grand Canyon Brewing Company, events, sales, and pretty much everything else in between.
Moonshine delivery.
Yep.
And you, sir?
Yeah, my name is Jeff. I'm from Flagstaff Brewing Company. I'm the founder, owner, and brewmaster there.
Excellent. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time out of your days to jump on the microphone and hang out and obviously drink some moonshine at some point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Between two brewers.
Right, yeah. yeah, right? For sure. Yeah. So, well, let's kind of start with you guys. 30th year, Jeff, right?
Yeah.
30 years in the industry here. What is the cycle of beer in Flagstaff been over the last 30 years?
It's been incredible to watch this whole transformation of Flagstaff craft brewing. I mean, it was kind of back when we started our project in '92, thinking about our project, this city really had nothing. And, you go up to city council and say, hey, I'm going to open a brewery. And they're like, what? You open Budweiser downtown? Like, no. But so just the transformation of nothing in craft beer, really, so to speak, of to where we have gone in just 30 years is incredible. Now we have countless breweries here. We're Arizona Beer City or whatever they have designated us, and so that's neat to see. And it's great that, I mean, breweries are such a good addition to cities like this, because you kind of educate people on what good products are, and it's not just your dive bar that everybody's drinking too much and just playing pool and doing shots. Now you can all sit down in nice places typically and enjoy beer and talk about beer, and most of the places are family friendly. They all got great food, and so that's been neat to see that transformation over the decades. Like I said, I can't believe it's been that long, and I'm sorry I missed the earlier podcast with Kelly. She's been a part of that thing for as long as we have. She was just a little kid when we started.
Yeah, she said she celebrated her 7th birthday in the Beaver Street, like a week before they opened. Yeah. Like that's where her birthday was at.
And that goes to show that these places are also family friendly. It's a great place to take your kids and your relatives and grab a good meal, good lunch, a good dinner, and talk about the products that all these breweries are putting out. It's great to see, and we embrace more breweries here. It's better to have a brewer as a neighbor than just some rinky-dink dive bar, like I said.
Sure. Yeah, well, on the whiskey angle of things, you are familiar with whiskey. You guys have quite the selection at Flag Brew. So my in-laws lived here for several years, so I would, we'd always hit up downtown. We loved going to Flag Brew on the patio with the music playing. And a friend of theirs came with us one time, and he'd had a couple drinks, and he was all excited. He's like, let's get a shot. Let's do a shot. I'm like, okay. So we go up with him, and he's ordering the shot, and then then we get up there and he hands it to us, and the girl's like, $192 for 3 shots. I'm like, what'd you get? He's like, I don't know. And he had picked a top, because you guys have some top shelf
We do,
whiskeys.
yeah.
And so he picked a big dog, and he was like, you could see his face get white, and he was like, I'm like, I already did it, man. Now you gotta pay for it, right?
Can't give it back now.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's always been kind of a side enjoyment for us, is collecting a lot of rare whiskeys and whatnot. At one point we did have the largest whiskey collection west of the Mississippi.
Wow.
I don't know if that still exists. I don't go out and check it out, but there's still 150, 175 maybe single malts, American bourbons, and Irish whiskeys there. So
Yeah.
I kind of had to stop doing that in my 30s. Gets a little out of hand too quick.
Tasting them yourself, you mean?
Yeah. Had to taste that.
Well, Taylor, let's kind of talk a little bit about like Dark Sky. So you said you pretty much grew up here, right, in Flagstaff?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
From Pennsylvania originally, but have lived here longer than anywhere else at this point. So
Yeah. And you've been with Dark Sky for how long?
just over 2 years.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
started out as front of house, did beer slinging like I feel like most, at least a lot of people in the craft beer realm kind of get started out as, and
Sure.
then transitioned into production. So
Yeah. If you had to pick, if Ryan and Laramie are listening right now, if you'd rather work in the back of the front.
I don't want to cause any. They still kind of argue about where I should belong over there, but
They both want you in their
yeah.
realms,
So it's. I mean, at this point, like I am still a taproom manager. I think my official title is front of house liaison or something like that. So I do kind of do a little bit of everything at this point for them, and just kind of help out as much as I possibly can.
Nice. And you guys are growing too. Like it's,
Yeah. So this past year's been great for us. I got some values here I can spout off.
You got
I got notes.
I didn't know we were supposed to bring notes.
Notes. I don't know.
So obviously the big thing for us was we signed with Quail just
Yeah,
over
that's right.
or almost a year ago.
Yep.
And that's been huge for distribution purposes, obviously. So,
Sure.
I know obviously a lot of your listeners are going to be from the Valley, should pretty well be able to find us just about anywhere in Phoenix now.
Yeah.
And in case I'm lying, we do have a tracker on the website, the Dark Sky website. So if you're ever curious, you can look. We're a lot of Total Wines, AJ, stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, we improved or increased from 1,300 barrels brewed last year to over 2,000 this year.
Dang.
So big increase there. Obviously, we've brewed 100 unique beers every single year since we've been open. Continue that trend
Still
this year.
be doing that. Yeah, I like that.
We did over 50 unique canned beers at our warehouse, and that's just the warehouse location.
Yeah.
So on top of our rainy days, our Westie, our like staple beers, on top of that additional 50 unique beers. And then obviously we got all of those accolades this year with Best of Flagstaff, which we're super proud of. Huge respect to Mother. We finally toppled them for Best Brewery in Flagstaff. Obviously standing in the shadows of giants for sure, with obviously Tower Station and everything else. Just huge footprint with them.
Yeah.
But we did get Best Brewery, Best overall bar staff, and Best overall bar, I think, which that one surprises me personally.
Wow, nice.
Just because we have mixed cocktails over there and not like full bar experience.
Sure.
But yeah, so again, huge improvements or not improvements, but just big year for us for sure.
Just keep climbing.
Yeah.
I love that you keep a hold of the 100 recipes per year.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's at this point, that's so imbued into our core. Like, obviously, it's always going to be one of those things like double-edged sword. People are going to come in and want like a classic lager or just like a clean IPA, and those will typically be there. But if you want that weird sour, you want that weird barrel-aged beer, it's going to be there as well for people that are looking to kind of expand their culinary experiences.
I like weird. I like the weird shit. Yeah.
That was definitely, I mean, even before I started really drinking craft beer, my brother used to drag me to Dark Sky right after I got out of the military. And it was like just one after another, he'd shove weird beers at me. I'm like, dude, why am I like, this isn't going to convince me to drink craft beer if this is what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But now I obviously, as a brewer, can definitely appreciate it more.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a fan since day one. I remember me and my father-in-law would go, and he'd be like, "Man, I just want a West Coast IPA." I'm like, "We can get one. It's got like juniper bark in it and stuff, but it's gonna be good." But yeah. And Liz, you and I met at. Did we meet originally at Dark Sky?
Our first collaboration was at Dark Sky.
Yes,
and it was the El Gato Azul. I remember this.
Tap That Azul.
Tap That Azul. It was a blueberry wheat.
It was a blueberry hazy double IPA.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Yeah, coming out the gate strong from day one, dude. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's when production was still in the original location.
Yep.
That was a lot. That was a good day.
That was a fun time.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I got to know Laramie and Ryan and Tiffany.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I'm like, yeah, no, I will go to Dark Sky for any reason, excuse.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, a Tuesday morning, it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm there.
yeah, exactly. Well, we ate at Sosabel last night for dinner, and I just love that mic drop. And but then we went to Dark Sky for our final beer, and I was completely full. And I was still like, I might get a pizza because of the smell. Like, it just draws you in. Like, it's
the bee's knees is like, no. If you're only listening and not watching, everybody's face was just like, oh god.
My wife still
Right.
to this day, if I'm over there working front of house and I come home, she's like, "You were working on pizza side, weren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah."
She
Don't
just
wash your
smells
clothes.
it off of you.
So now, and I think it's cool that, now that Grand Canyon has a tap room here in Flagstaff. I love that. I think that it makes sense. I mean, what is it, an hour away from Williams?
It's an hour away from the Williams Brewery, and we have 4 locations currently.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
right. So you've got
Williams, which is, the base
OG,
camp.
yep.
And then Flagstaff was number 2.
Okay.
Page was number 3.
That's right.
And then Kingman now. So we took over Rickety Cricket on Beale Street, right there on 66.
Okay.
And we turned it into Grand Canyon. We expanded it. We have a really beautiful brew system up there right now, too. So we'll do a lot of some of our one-offs and some of our seasonals are up there. But it's a beautiful area. It's so nice. And nobody really knows about it.
That location is really nice because I think you can see the brew system from the second floor. Like you can kind of look down into
You
it.
essentially see the entire brew system from any part of the building. It's 3 stories. I mean, it was massive when it was Rickety Cricket, and with us expanding it even more, you fit so much stuff in there. We put games in there, the quintessential, fireplace with the cozy chairs.
Yeah.
And you smell that fresh wort in the morning when you come into Kingman, and it's beautiful. It's really nice. You should stop by.
Yeah, I will. I'll swing by my next way through town.
Thanks. I got to go to Vegas this weekend too,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be stopping there.
Nice.
So anybody
Hell
want to
yeah.
tag along? Let's go.
Well, so we've got Beer Week coming up. We talked earlier about the collaboration beer. You guys are doing a Maibach?
Yeah,
Is that
Maibach.
right? Yeah. Have you guys all done, Jeff, have you done a Maibach?
I actually was just talking to Steve Hendricks yesterday over at Beaver Street, because I was a little bit out of the loop on the collaboration beer, and I said, "Oh, I heard we're supposed to making a Maibach. I haven't done one in 20 years, but I can get that recipe back. I think I have it in a file cabinet somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess I got to do that this week. So
Dude. Jeff came in. I hope I'm not throwing you under the bus, but he was like, "Shit, man, it's 5 weeks away." Like, man.
Yeah, I don't have a secretary or a bookkeeper anymore, so I'm just always scatterbrained. And, but we'll get it figured out. I think Steve was in the same boat. He's like, I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but yeah, Maibach sounds great.
Yeah.
It's a different approach this year where we're all brewing kind of separately. And, which is fine. It kind of harkens back to that resilience beer that we did for the Paradise Fire victims, where we all kind of got a recipe and we all did it across the country, and it was fun to see everybody's different take on that. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody comes out with their Maibach.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to go to everybody's grain room and start borrowing stuff.
Come on over. The grain is fine. The water is fine. Yeah, we clicked on that just because there's so many breweries up here, and we wanted to keep inclusion at as the big focus. And so we'll be all doing a Maibach. The grain build is going to be interesting. It's usually like a summer style beer, but up here we wanted to bring a little bit of sunshine, style valleys to when it's going to be 10 feet of snow. For Beer Week. So we're also incorporating a lot of the tap rooms to be involved as well.
Like the not brewery tap rooms.
Correct. Because Flagstaff, yes, are there some bomb breweries up here that you can come in and spend your hard-earned money? 1,000%. But those tap rooms really support us.
Sure.
They support us a lot. So we wanted to incorporate them as well.
Hops on Birch will probably be a part of it. I think Uptown generally is part of the release party.
We've got 6 down. So,
okay.
Yeah. So,
nice.
Okay. Now, let's see if I can remember them all. Uptown, Hops, Yucca North, Pay and Take.
Mountaintop.
What's that?
Mountaintop?
Mountaintop Tap Room.
Okay.
Sorry, Josh. And I think we're talking Cornish pasty as well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan
Yeah.
mentioned Cornish pasty earlier. Yeah. Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So are they each going to, like, they'll choose, like, okay, we're going to do Flag Brews, my Bach. All right, this place is going to do Dark
So the
Skies.
cool thing that they're doing, and this is where Discover Flagstaff really has, launched this whole project, is that they have a really cute spread in the magazine where the theme is flag and hops, kind of like Calvin and Hobbes, but it's flag and hops.
I like that.
So
I didn't put that together. Like I did. Yeah.
I know. It's adorable. Discover Flagstaff did a killer job, and so we've all brought to the table a can with the can art from each respective breweries. And so that will be the beer that's going to be definitely like on the Flagstaff Trail where you can, have that beer, or it's actually more geared towards the breweries. But we will all submit one of our beers to be a part of the trail, and then the Maibach will be additional in there too.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
yep.
Nice. I dig it. I like that ad in the magazine. So if you haven't seen it, in the January magazine, A Taste of AZ magazine, 2-page spread, and just the art of it, it's like comic booky kind of like, and Calvin and Hobbes, I didn't even put that together.
It's the same text and everything.
Hey, things. I've been known to not catch on to obvious things.
But you're still so pretty. It's fine. And your voice is like silk, so there's a lot of things.
Compliments achieved. Yes. That's the only reason I do
I
this.
think it's because I've known you for so damn long. I try and see what shade of red I can turn Eric's face.
What is it right now?
It's about a peach. It's getting there.
Yeah.
If you get some moonshine, that might help.
You know what? Is it time for moonshine? I think
It's always time for
We should
moonshine,
taste
Eric.
that. So, Taylor, have you made a Maibach before with all this things you guys have made at Dark Sky?
I mean, Dark Sky for sure has made one. I personally have not brewed a Maibach. The closest we did a Doppelbock for Oktoberfest this past year.
Okay.
So obviously just a slightly larger version of a Maibach. So
Gotcha.
we'll probably take that recipe and just scale it down.
Yeah. What exactly is I'll take that one. You're good, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate
Nothing?
it. I'll smell, but I'm still on a bit of a cleanse for myself.
Yeah, I'm still trying to do dry January.
Oh, that needs to go away. That
It's-
dry January is killing us all.
My liver is so happy, but it's not fun. It's killing my spirit, but it's helping my liver, I guess.
Who needs
Free
spirit,
smell,
right?
so free good. Yeah.
So what is, I don't know whoever wants to chime in on this, describe what a Maibach is.
So Maibach, and Jeff obviously has probably got the most experience of any of us here. Feel free to correct me where I'm wrong, but it's essentially just a older style German lager, slightly higher ABV than what you typically think of as a lager.
Okay.
And then the grain bill obviously going to encompass some more of those like kind of classic German grains.
Okay.
So it's going to be, probably in the 5 to 6% ABV range, kind of a little bit coppery colored because of the grain.
Okay.
But more encompassing like fruitier esters and whatnot. So you get a little bit of apple and pear depending upon how it's brewed and the yeast used.
Nice. Okay.
Use traditional German yeast, it should have a little bit of a fruitier body to it. And then, of course, encompassing some more like that kind of caramely malt that you would from the grain as well.
Yeah, I
So-
think you see Bachs in general. You're going to see a lot of Vienna's, Munich malt, and that's going to add that copper color, like you said, and that, or even pushing towards amber color, depending on how much Munich malt you use. But yeah, definitely, it's a classic beer that used to come out kind of. I mean, Mai is German for May, but the way that I've always looked at Maibach releases, they come out in the spring, like at the beginning of the spring, and they kind of continue on through that. So it's not completely out of the realm to make a Maibach for February release, but and maybe it'll be around for March, which is still, I think, a classic timetable for releasing Bachs, especially the Maibach. I'm excited. Like I said, I haven't made it in 20 years, so we'll see how it turns out. And I don't even remember if it was any good back then.
But damn it, I'm using the same recipe, right? Yeah.
I think I got donated yeast from Beaver Street, so if it's bad, I'm just going to blame it on them.
I love it. I love it. We all do anyways, right? It's always Beaver Street's fault.
Oh
I'm just kidding, Kelly. I love you guys. Well, they said they had a little flood this morning, and one of the pool tables, something happened. I'm is it closed? She's like, no, we're open. I'm like, all right, good. I'm like, I didn't mean to sound selfish, but I want to go play pool. Sorry about your business, but is your pool table open? Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the honest to God truth, that's exactly where I was, and I thought that this podcast might be taking place over at the production facility for Mother Road, because I was at the plumbing supply store, because that's all we ever do as brewers. I mean, we're just plumbers.
Yeah. You should start your own plumbing
business.
business.
Is what one of my brewers calls himself.
I can clean the crap out of a toilet.
We definitely lucked out with our production facility because we're right across the street from Home Depot. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was strategic.
Shit. All right, walk over there real quick.
They know you by name. Instead of them coming into the bar and you know exactly what beer you want, they're like, you need another valve, huh?
Yeah,
gotcha.
what's messed up today, Taylor? Yeah. Well, I want to hear kind of what you guys have planned for Beer Week, but let's take a quick break.
A real quick shout out to our friends at Discover Flagstaff for sponsoring this episode. Next time you head to Flagstaff, swing by the Flagstaff Visitors Bureau so you can find all the best places to enjoy what's going on in Flagstaff. Now let's get back to the episode.
Well, we're back. We were just talking about music a little bit. Liz plays the banjo. Jeff is in a band that does jam band cover band jams. Right?
I guess. Trying to relive my Grateful Dead touring days.
Taylor, do you play any instruments? Or are you a music guy?
Oh, no, I am the least musically inclined person in my family. My older brother is very musically talented, but not me.
No? Okay. Your skills lie elsewhere.
Yeah, basically.
You seem like a mechanical guy. Are you a mechanic, like hands?
No,
I'm
obviously military background, so I'm really into firearms, but that's about it.
Hey, you could shoot that in a rhythm too. Right? So it's Beer Week. The moonshine is flowing. That is fantastic.
Real
good.
That's way too good.
It's apple pie a la mode.
Yeah, which is exactly how it tastes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yummy. I mean, my mom loves it. It was seasonal for a minute, and then we saw that it was super popular and people just loved the product. And so we're like, let's bring it around all year.
Yeah.
I would think we went through 3 of these bottles in 2 days over my holiday this
Oh,
year.
wow.
How many people? Was it 2 people?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
you and
about 4. It was 4 people that were legal to drink. And, we brought the spirit of the holiday in a bottle. So
It feels like
it's
the
good.
holidays.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, moonshine is one of those like fun little things where it's like, it's made in a bathtub in your granddaddy's house. No, this stuff was really good, and I'm really proud of our distilling line. They've done phenomenal work.
Yeah.
In just growth over the last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you can make whiskey from beer. So,
Sure. Yeah.
we figured that one out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was AZ Distilling does I think it's AZ Distilling does a distilled version of Kilt Lifter.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
I can't remember what that's called, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, I've had it. It's really rich and caramely.
Yeah.
It's a delightful treat. I've had that before for sure.
All right. So Beer Week we got
anyway.
coming up. Thank you for the warming us up with the moonshine, Liz.
My pleasure.
So Beer Week coming up. So we've got the collaboration beer you guys are working on, the Maibach. You've got the ABV dinner. That's something that's a big
that's
kind of
a
a big
Mother Road deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're
Mother
stoked
Road
for
is the one that they organized that whole thing.
Yep.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Well, I originally I think it was Jamie Thousand and
Eva
from
Satchmo's.
From Satchmo's and Eva from whatever the Rickety Cricket became or took over for.
Got it.
Okay.
That
Eva.
State Bar.
State
Yeah,
Bar.
State
Thank
Bar.
you. Sorry about that. I think
She
they still
was-
exist in Cottonwoods.
She was the one that was on
Yes.
Naked and Afraid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I met her like first time we ever went into when it was State Bar.
Yeah.
And like she was just a badass.
Yeah, she
And then
is.
I looked at she's like, oh yeah, I was on the show, blah, blah, blah. And I looked it up. I'm like, you were like not just on the show, like you kicked ass on the show. Yeah. So she was involved with Historic, I think, for a while, and then
Correct.
But
That's such a great event. I'm glad it's still going on, and it does wonders for the Post here, the American Legion, and all the veterans and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just a good event. And if you've never been, you have to go to that thing. It's like 8-9 course meal with 8, 9 beers, and
Yeah.
it goes on, and by the end, you're trying to call a cab.
It's good fun. It's good fun.
Good fun. Yeah. Are you going to be off your detox by then?
We'll see.
Taylor?
We'll see.
It's in February, so.
Yeah.
That's
You got some time.
free flow February.
Yeah. Got to make up for all the non-drinking.
Yeah. Well, I convinced. So Michael Marcos was telling us about it, and he's talked to us about it several times. He gets so excited about it. I'm like, all right, dude, you need to get me a media pass. I need to experience this. And then earlier we had Dylan on from Mother Road, and he was just like, oh my God, I love it. He's like, it's the best thing ever. So it sounds like a fantastic.
Oh, and
event.
all the great chefs come out, all the good restaurants. I mean, all of a sudden we have these fine dining places hooking up with us brewers who don't really know fine dining, and it's a wonderful experience just to pair beer with really good food. It's you can do it. You don't have to drink wine. There's beer out there that'll fit with anything.
For sure. I dig it. Well, so what do you guys have going on? What's Beer Week look like for Dark Sky?
So for Beer Week, obviously, we'll be at Strong Beer Fest.
Nice. Yeah.
I think Quail might be representing us that particular weekend just because we actually got invited to Festival of the Dark Arts up in Oregon, which is in like a stout Lollapalooza, essentially, up at Fort George Brewing.
So on brand for you guys.
Yeah,
I love
for sure.
that.
Yeah, so we'll probably be up there pouring for that as well. And then we've got a couple of special beers coming out for that in particular. But as far as Beer Week goes, we do have a collaboration with Wren House and Lazy G coming up. We're going to be doing, I think it's just a plain West Coast IPA. We've got a casual pint collaboration we're going to be doing. We've brewed it before called Hype Sauce. It's just like a great hazy IPA.
Yeah.
We're going to crank it up to about 11 with making it a triple IPA, so it'll be triple hazy.
Dang.
Roses by the Stairs, so we'll be going down to visit Jordan and brewing up I think just a double West Coast IPA with him down there.
Nice.
And then we're still working out the details with Pueblo Vita guys down in Tucson, so we'll be getting something with them in the books as well. It should be coming out around Beer Week.
Nice. Excellent. So you got a lot of traveling to do, man. Yeah. I love it. Grand Canyon, what's going on for you guys?
So definitely Strong Beer Fest. Yep. We are planning on doing a bigger impact this year where we're going to bring the North to Scottsdale. I don't want to give away too many little things, but because we're Grand Canyon, we have to do it big. We'll still have our DJ Ms. Mix. Yeah. She'll be slinging some sounds in our compound. But Santa might make an appearance in February. I know him. I know.
It's getting weirder
as
we
great.
It makes sense.
So we're planning on making Strong Beer another really big, fun, engaging event.
Yeah, nice.
Up here, we're going to be doing a Galentine's. It's not necessarily Beer Week, but it's right around the corner. So it's going to be Treat Yourself on Galentine's Day, which is February 13th. And we're going to do, since we launched a coffee line as well, we're going to be doing coffee scrubs. All are welcome. Come in, you can make one of those, and it's just gonna be really
Jeff's
super fun.
ears just perked up, like he was just like, "What?"
Do you like coffee,
He's like, "I'm in." I thought he meant the coffee scrub.
Coffee scrub.
Jeff. Let's take a coffee scrub. We'll do coffee cocktails. We have our coffee liqueur as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that, and then right after that, I will again be participating in the arm wrestling competition during Beer Week, February 21st.
Nice. February 20th. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes. So the arm wrestling competition will be happening again this year. If you haven't gone, you're missing out. It is one of the best events during Beer Week.
Yeah.
We raise money for the Pink Boots chapter of Arizona. The funds that we raised last year and the years prior sent about 15 women to Yakima, and we did the Yakima Hop and Brew School.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. I mean, words can't describe the experience. And I'm not a brewer. I know the process. I've had my hands on brews. I'm really close with my production teams. I know what I'm doing. I just haven't had the actual chance to be there and produce an entire brew.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the hard work, the dedication, the attention to detail, and everything that I learned, what I've already knew now, was just completely emphasized when we went to Hop and Brew School.
Yeah.
Yakima Chief is very much funded by a Pink Boots chapter. They're very heavy in there, and it was just an incredible experience. We saw the Aroma Dome, where if you want to know about hops, you go there and I'm like, no, I'm just going to quit Grand Canyon. I'm going to open up my own hop farm. That's how I'm going to retire. But no, it was an incredible experience. And the arm wrestling competition really does help with that. So, and there will be soon a Northern Arizona chapter for Pink Boots as well. So if any non-binary or female is in the fermentable industry is listening to this podcast and happens to live in the northern part of Arizona, we will be starting a chapter soon. And the other cool thing is that it's not just going to be like women only and non-binary, it's going to be incorporating men as well. So if I do a course on and we're going to be having this like promoted throughout Beer Week as well. But if there's any other things that like men want to jump in on, whether it's, how to clean a tap line or off flavors or mechanics of how to run your front, we're going to discuss all of that. So anyway, you can probably cut a lot of that out of your podcast.
I stopped recording about 5 minutes ago.
But as far as other Beer Week events go, we're also going to be doing, lip sync battle up here as well.
Oh, that I've seen that like from the digital side of. I've never seen it in person.
It's awesome.
It looks pretty badass.
It's everything that you would hope karaoke night would be, which is people not actually singing.
For sure. Yeah, it eliminates the worst part of karaoke.
It's lip sync battle.
Oh, okay.
So you get to pick your song karaoke style, and then you just lip sync to it instead of having to squawk all over my microphone all night. So.
It's like
fun.
the air guitar competition.
It pretty much is. That's probably going to be the next one. But yeah, Beer Week up here, I really want to focus on the Discover Flagstaff, the Flagstaff Trail, promoting all the other events with our tap room partners as well. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
I feel like the event, the things that Grand Canyon is doing this Beer Week is very Liz influenced. That sounds like
it's because they pay me.
I know.
To do it.
I love it though. I love it. I love what you bring to the table for sure.
Well, moving up here, I mean, I didn't move for Grand Canyon. I moved for Flagstaff. I love Phoenix. I'm ride or die. But moving up here has been really, really beautiful for my husband and I. And Paul loves it, and our dog loves it. And every time I would have to come up here for work and then drive back down the 17, a little piece of my heart and my liver would be left in Flagstaff. And just being, Arizonan my whole life, living up here has kind of been a dream. So, and I just love the community. I love the fact that like I can produce an event and see the ripple effect in my community and I didn't get to really have that in the Valley.
Sure.
And up here I get to meet incredible people, like you guys, like the brewers, and just really I've been embraced by this community 100% wholeheartedly. And it gives me the warm fuzzies, just like the moonshine. But it's been really, really lovely living up here and getting to know and help bringing some of the events and the experience that I've had in the Valley and bring them up here to Flagstaff and show people in the Valley, like, yeah, you guys can come to Flagstaff. It's not some barren ice den during January.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Kind of is.
It kind of really is.
Well, that's what you want people to think anyway, so it's not too crowded, right?
But yeah, like Jeff was saying, the beer community up here has just grown exponentially, and the events are just going to get bigger and more badass. And I'm really looking forward to this year's Beer Week.
Heck yeah. Jeff, what about Flag Brew? What do you?
I can't follow up on all that good stuff. I mean, I came into this podcast, found out about it yesterday. I was like, we haven't planned anything for Beer Week. No, there's a bunch of things that we always kind of do every year. For one, I'm really excited to try the Pink Boots collab beer. I didn't even look into that, but every year we get some at the brewery, and it's so good. And it's such a great event that everybody. I always see pictures of the process and all the women that go down and do that. It's such a cool event. And whenever we buy kegs of that beer, it's gone in a day. It's great.
Yeah.
So we'll have that on tap. And of course we'll try to get all our beers on tap. Make sure we have everything going. But one thing that we have been doing is I can't speak highly enough of our current head chef. She's been with us for about a decade, but kind of really took over the kitchen about the pandemic, and she puts out some great food. And every Beer Week, she tries to come up with little tapas, like tasting plates and whatnot, to really complement what we got going on tap. And I look forward to that every year. She just blows my mind. We go from burgers and sandwiches to all of a sudden crazy weird, esoteric,
Yeah.
super tasty dishes, and that's what I look forward to. Of course, we'll be being a part of the ABV dinner and all that, and who knows? You know, we usually book bands throughout both weekends. Arizona Beer Week is actually over 2 weekends, I think. So we usually get quite a bit of live entertainment, you know, and we'll see. Well, it's all. I could be like Liz and say I don't want to give away a lot, but in reality, we just haven't planned anything.
I love that transparency, though. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'll come and help out with the Brussels sprouts if you
Yeah.
That. Those
We did
things are
have them
so
last year, I
good.
think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tell Chef that I just need just her Brussels sprouts. They're like umami miso.
Oh yeah,
Brussels.
she's so good. And Megan Good. I should mention her name. She's just been a fantastic addition to our kitchen, and she's the hardest working person in that whole building. So I got to throw out props to her.
I love it, man. I love it.
But yeah, I don't know. Beer Week's always fun. We'll always find something fun to do. I mean, everybody's got something going on, and hopefully everybody that comes up or is here in Flagstaff gets to go by all the breweries and see what's going on. I mean, we all do something.
Yeah. I love it. Well, so to kind of, I guess, full circle, you go to the visitor center and you can get the. Well, I guess it's a digital version of the pass.
Right.
The hot
so
pass.
you just sign up on there, and I believe every time you go to a different brewery, you either have to take a picture and upload it as like your stamp.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find it all online.
Dylan actually said, not to interrupt you, but Dylan said it actually tracks
It's
you.
geolocated.
Yeah, it's geolocated.
Yeah. That creeps
This is
me
all
out,
news
man.
to me.
Write this down, Taylor.
I was actually curious because I'd worked a couple front of house shifts over the holidays, and I'm like, I haven't seen anybody with the passes and like needing the stamp anymore. I'm like, what? Did they discontinue that? Like, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No,
good to know.
pub
That's all
pass
digital now.
I like the stamp thing. It was always pretty good humor because eventually the bartenders will lose your Flagstaff Brewing Company stamp or your Dark Sky or your Grand Canyon stamp for the passports. So, you know, we finally ended up with a Cat in the Hat stamp. So now it's digital. We don't need any of that.
I love it. Well, so they were, I don't know if we talked about this on this episode, but previously we did the first part. Dylan was saying about how, you explained, Jeff, how each place is going to do their own iteration of Maibach. And he's like, that's a unique way to experience that trail is go to each place and taste the Maibach. You know, obviously don't drink 8 full Maibachs in a,
Well, you got 8 or 9, 10 days to do it. So,
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
One a day.
Per day. Yeah. But no, once again, shout out to Discover Flagstaff for all the awesome stuff that they do, putting this stuff all together. And thank you guys for taking times out of your day. Of
course.
And Liz, thank you for bringing the moonshine to make me a little slurry at 12:47.
That's fantastic.
Just blame it on the altitude.
I always do. I always do. Yeah. Well, guys, thanks again. Thanks for joining. Thanks for taking time out
Thanks
of your
for
day.
having us.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
absolutely.
It's always a blast.
And cheers to Beer Week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much to our friends at Discover Flagstaff for sponsoring this episode. And make sure you head up to Flagstaff for Arizona Craft Beer Week so you can enjoy some of the best breweries in the state. Cheers, and thanks for listening.